So Bruckner's Seventh Symphony to me is a very special piece because Bruckner was a big admirer of Richard Wagner, and especially the second movement is written after Wagner's death, or like during Wagner's death. It's this beautiful C sharp minor movement, which is very captivating to me. I mean, it's very emotional. And Bruckner called Wagner his Meister. And I think it says a lot if Bruckner calls somebody his Meister. And therefore, this symphony is very, to me, it's very special. In terms for the second violins and Bruckner symphonies in general, I think we play an important part regarding to the harmonies, because we have a lot of filling up the harmonies. We don't play that much, that many melodies or motives. We play mostly harmonies, lots of tremolo, of course, everybody knows. And it's very tiring, but it's very fulfilling because you really create the sounds which the motives and the melodies are set on top. I mean, when I play the Seventh Symphony, there's of course the end of the second movement, of the slow movement. Is basically when he really writes it and to honor Wagner's death. It's hard for me to play this on the violin because I can't play that many harmonies, and it's also with the Wagner tubes and everything. But for me, a second violin, I mean, it's very special. There's one part in the first movement which I found here. I mean, I have to look for it for a second. And it's basically we're playing the theme, and the theme in the first movement is very interesting because Bruckner doesn't use that many melodies as themes. He uses more motives, but for the Seventh Symphony, he uses a very long melody actually to start the first movement. And it starts in E major with a lot of hope almost. And then the second part of the phrase, it just really kind of almost shatters this hope and getting back to this dark and almost depressed mode. For the second violin, we have this one part in the middle of the first movement. It's very beautiful, I think. So this for me is a very, very beautiful part because we really play the stark theme, not a major, but then it switches to major within a couple bars and suddenly, and I think that's also one of Bruckner's specialties, so like that makes him so special, that these sudden harmony changes from major to minor or like to a complete unexpected harmony, which this part for a second one is just shows very well, I think. Maestro Trahi, I really, really like him. I think he's one of the great conductors of our time. He has an incredible technique when he conducts. He has incredible oversight over everything. He knows exactly what he wants and how to get what he wants, like how to get it out of the orchestra. I mean, I think he's extremely demanding, but it's always with a good cause. I mean, it's always for the music. It's never for him. And especially in this Bruckner symphony, I thought it was very special how he really could like spin these long lines and the sound of the orchestra. And then going on tour with it to China made it a special tour because you get to play it more often, and you really grow. There's a big relationship growing between the piece, the conductor, and the orchestra. And I think the work with him in the summer is very fulfilling, and it's a great joy to work with him. Well, it's an interesting story, the Lucerne Festival Orchestra, for me, because I've been trying to get to play in this orchestra for a very long time. And then at the moment when I always admired all these recordings they have with Claudio Abbado. And then the moment when I didn't really stop thinking about it, basically put this aside, then I got the call to play with it. I think it was in 2011. And so I got to play with Abbado the last couple of years. So I played some Bruckner First Symphony, Bruckner Ninth Symphony, and some other great pieces. And then we had these couple of years in between with 2 years, I think, with Nelsons. And Heiting also did some great stuff. I mean, he did Wagner, not Wagner, I mean, he did Bruckner Eighth, which was absolutely amazing too. And for me, Lucerne is a great orchestra because it's not like my usual orchestra job. It's not like going to work and doing the work. It's you're really going there for the joy of it. And it's just an incredible combination of musicians, of artists, giving their best to serve the music and experience something together, which I think it's hard to experience somewhere else.